I haven't live streamed in a while on any of my channels. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's my speakers. Don't worry about it. Boy, that sounds really loud. Ugh. It's not quite 11, so I'm just kind of setting things up, figuring out what I want to do. Alright, we're all good. So basically this video is based off of this. This is just lo-fi, copyright free. I listen to a lot of lo-fi stuff now. It's just calming. It's just really calming. It's really good stuff. So this is obviously Faith from Joy Park West, way back in the day. And man, look at that part. This was cool. I did like the spiral design on the downside of the top. Anyways, so the point being, back on October 2nd, I got a request to do a top hat support tutorial by Hal Kerr. So, top hats. I'm guessing this is what he's talking about. Because there's kind of different versions of top hats. They're all kind of the same thing though. But I'm gonna do this because, I don't know, I feel like that's what he's talking about. If not, let me know and I'll do another video. But I'm guessing based off of that coaster that you're wondering how to do one of these. So I base all my supports off of pictures. So like this is the thumbnail. Hey, look at that. It looks familiar, right? So I like look at a ton of these pictures. I try to get every angle. I try to get every view that I can. Like for this side, like you can clearly see what these are, but you can't quite tell what these are, like the different sizes, because they if you look at this, they do have different sizes. See how this is a size smaller than that, right? So I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. I gotta look, and so this picture kind of helps with that, and it shows you it's got this kind of connection. So yeah, should be interesting. It's a good time making top hat supports. So I'm gonna just make a new folder. Top hat tutorial. Why not? Yep. Sure, why not? And so I am gonna have to import a coaster here because I'm not gonna be able to really spend time building a actual coaster. So we're gonna go to, here's all the Joy Park stuff. How about that? Let me just make sure it's actually going through the different songs. Okay, I'm just making sure. All right. Which coaster was it? think it was just Faith. I think I called it West Faith. Yeah, look at all the coasters that I made for things. You. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so here's all the supports. So I don't do it this way anymore, where they're all connected like that. I don't do it that way anymore. But so I can either go through how to do it, or I could just show you this, or I could actually, you know, I could either show you how I did it here, or I could go step by step. But I don't know, I think it'd be kind of fun to go step by step, but that's gonna take a while, and I don't have a whole lot of time today. I have like 2 hours. It shouldn't take you 2 hours to do this, so I think I'm just gonna go like this. Boom, half of it's already gone. You can kind of see how I did it, in a sense. Now it's gonna be different because I'm redoing it, so I'm gonna delete pretty much everything, and I'm gonna try to make it a little bit better than I did last time, because this was back when before I really try to sit down and do things correctly. Now whenever I try to make a coaster, which I know I haven't made in a while, and I'm sorry about the upload schedule being complete garbage. It's just, I've been really busy, and I've been really stressed out with a lot of things going on. So trying to remember to do YouTube is not really that high on the priority list right now. But back in the day when I used to get views, if you will, I wasn't really taking care of how to do these correctly. I was mostly just trying to get the design out and try to focus my attention on actually doing the design. So here it is. I'm gonna keep this spiral just because it's unique and it's cool, and I don't want to change it. But anyways, so here's the coaster, right? So you just generally set up your coaster like this at the beginning. I had to build it sideways. Okay. So try to keep everything in line, make sure everything's correct in the way the size and the portions are, so you can kind of see that I don't know what happened here, and these kind of look weird. But yeah, so I start out. So if you look at Top Throw Dragster, right? Let's find a good photo. I think this was the big one. Like, all the photos are small, and it kind of bugs me. But anyways, so you can see how the supports are in line with the track until this point here, which is when it starts to curl in, which I didn't do on this. If you notice, the supports started curling in like way up here. They needed to curl back down here. So anyways, so here we go. I'm going to do step by step. Alright, so well, one, I gotta start the support coaster. And you want to take your trains off because it'll give you an error message, and you change your colors and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna really do that. I'm gonna change the color to a gray, just because it'll help see things, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I really don't know. That music's pretty loud still, geez. I'm adjusting that just a little bit. I mean, it's supposed to be background music, not... Alright. Alright. Whatever. It's good enough. I'm worried that you won't be able to hear me, and I hate videos where they're like, oh, I can't hear you over the music, and then people make the music like super loud. Like, I'm not gonna name anybody, but it's just annoying to me. So anyways, alright, so you just gotta go like this. So you make your coaster, and you make your top hat however wide you want and stuff, and then you gotta go like this, and boom. That's how wide your top hat is. Yay! Look at that. That's not hard, right? Hopefully not. All right, and then what you do? When I want to switch to the right view, so I actually know where the curl is. So that's that point, and then you take a free node. And I'm working in what is this? Imperial. I wish I could work in metric, but I know Imperial better, so I just work in Imperial. But I do wish I knew metric better. Anyways, so you can kind of see based off of the coaster that the top hat kind of starts curling about here. So you can see it's going to be kind of awkward doing this. If you had it a normal coaster, this would be flat here as well, but it's not. So you go like that. That's the point that you want to mark. Add a big old beam here to there. And they use, I'm not sure what they use. I think they use 42s for the main ones, which are these side ones, and then these. And then I wish I knew more than I do. And then the rest of them are 36s. Or not 36, 30s. Like all of these cross beams and stuff, those are all 30s, and then these guys are the 24s. Or at least that's what I use. But the main guys, I think they're 42s. And I like to be safe, so I like to use bigger supports than probably what they use. I'm a very big safety guy. I like safety. So anyways, I'm just looking at it. Okay. So 42. I think on the other ones I actually did the 48s. And even like my most my newest one with a top hat would, hey, nobody cares about that. Where is it? Oh, I haven't posted it yet. Sneak peek, I have another one coming out. And the one that I did that's coming out at some point, I think it's the next one that I'm doing. I'm not sure. I think the Vine is actually the next one that I'm coming out, but it's a repeat of one that you've already seen if you've watched my channel. So I think I did the supports 48, and it just looks kind of wrong, and I didn't change it for who knows why. Anyways, so there you go. So there's one big support, and then you gotta go like that, and then you gotta go like this. And I always like to double check and make sure that the supports are actually the right size, because when you're switching between supports, it's just better. So you go like that to make it flat, and then you come in like this, and then boom. Make sure everything's lined up, zoom in and out, make sure everything's straight how you want it. That's not quite straight, so I'm gonna tilt you up. There you go. Save. You can see how it's got a cross beam here, so that's correct. So the thing that I like to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 on here and then 8 for that. So the thing that I like to do is I like to use these as point of reference, just because it makes things so much easier to work with. And I'm actually gonna shift this over because I like it on the line better. So you can see it's not quite straight. It's close enough though. It's close enough. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna notice. Watching your videos, nobody's gonna notice. So in that case though, if you as you can see, I counted the supports, so there's 7 up to that beam. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which I just lost track of because I zoomed in on accident. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. Come on. Thank you. 7. Come on. Thank you. Alright. Boom. So that's technically top tilt dragster right there. So you can kind of tell the difference between the heights of the coasters. Anyways, so I'm really nervous that I'm wrong in these like middle ones. That's not a picture that I can zoom in on. I'm double checking. Okay. See how I do this. It's probably not the most efficient way or the right way or whatever, but it gets the job done and it looks nice. So anyways, I'm looking at the different sides of the pipes, and these are all the same. This one, and this one are all the same, from what I can tell. Because this does not look the same as that, but it's hard. It's really hard to tell in these pictures because it's got the like the walkways. So it's like, is it the same size as that? I don't know. I'm gonna assume it is because it looks bigger than that, which is smaller than that. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just go off of that. Actually, I'm gonna keep doing this because this is nice. Big old pictures. You want to use big old pictures so you can really see what's going on. Alright. My phone's about to die. Having all sorts of trouble just trying to get this going. Anyway. So here we go. So this part's easy. This part's easy because it's literally, since it's a big old square, you literally just go to each point where you want the cross connections. Stop zooming in and scroll. Jeez Louise. So you just go like this. And they're not perfectly lined up yet, I know. You can adjust, you can fine tune those. I'm not gonna make things uber perfect. And I'll tell you why I have the coaster here. If I'm just doing the supports, I could literally just show you how to do the supports since it's one object and it's separate from the coaster, but I'm gonna show you how to do the connections to the supports, because if you notice in the picture that I was at, like the beginning of the video especially, how the connections from the coaster to the support is actually kind of wonky. So I'm gonna just kind of quickly go through that. So we got that finished. Then the next thing we can do are these beams here. And so that's actually relatively easy as well. So you take this and you do the reason why I had this separated, which I forgot, was to center it. So I knew where the center of this was, so that I could do these. So you go like this. And the next step is how detailed you want to do it. So let me explain. So you see how that's easy? So if you notice, these don't go down to this point, they go above this point, right? You see that right in there? Let me zoom in on that. Let me zoom in on that. See how they go above it? These aren't connected to the same point. So it depends on whether or not you want to actually do that, which isn't hard because you just zoom in and you just go boop, and you just You connect it like that, so you just go like that. Well, connect please. So you can do that, and it doesn't change anything and how like the flanges work or anything. So it just depends on whether or not you want to do that much detail, and I'm not going to do it because I'm a lazy bum. So these are 24s, these big pipes here. I usually use 24s. They could be smaller, I don't know, they don't really tell you, you know. I bet you could do more research and define the sizes, so I'm just kind of showing you how to do the design itself. You can change the sizes to whatever you want. I'm just showing you what I usually stick with. And again, I don't do that high detail where it's that little bit above and stuff. But you can do that. It's easy. It's not hard. And when you do it, it just makes it look that much nicer. It looks really good. And again, with it connecting to the footers, it's just these bottom connections aren't connected to each other. Like especially the footers, most connections aren't connected to the footers. They're connected above the footers because that's kind of weird to have it connected to the footer. But again, this is just a basic tutorial. This isn't like I can explain to you how to do it and you can do it yourself. You know, I don't have to show you, so I won't. And then anyways, that's what the word I'm looking for. Can't really see the flanges on here, so I'm trying to remember where the flanges were. Where is the one photo that I really liked? This one. So the flanges are centered and edges. See how that is? Center and edges. And I believe that is for all of them. Yeah, that's a flange right there. So center and edges. I think that might be for all of them as well. That might be.
It's all here.
These ads, man. Get the app. Shut up. This is a nice photo. Yeah, see, edges and center. Edges and center for these guys as well. Alright. Good to know, right? So that's good to know, because you just go boop, boop. If you want to like really centered, you can. Again, this is just how to do it. This isn't taking the time to actually do it, because it depends on your kind of coaster. It depends on where everything is on your coaster, how big it is, how many of these you have. So again, this is just basic stuff. Basic stuff. So, and then edges. And of course, you want to make sure that they're not actually, like the flanges actually stick out. I'm not sure where that is on here, because this is a big coaster, so they might be closer, they might be farther away, depending on the size of the pipes. Not entirely sure. That one's probably too close. You can see they're also cockeyed, and it's okay. It's okay. And then you can see flanges on the middle and outer. So just like that. And you just gotta keep doing that the whole way down. Or whole way up, since we're going up, I guess. Wow, I really missed these. Wow, okay, good job. I did it. I'm so smart. And there you go. All done. So, if I'm looking at this correctly, which I think I am, I didn't notice this before, and I should have. So again, here's another hyper detail, as I like to call it. If you notice, this is angled. You can kind of see a bend there. You can kind of see it there. So that's something that I typically don't do. That's extra work. an extra detail that I don't care to do. You don't really notice it. Like if you again, like you look at this, you just go, oh yeah, it's just straight up and down into the big square. So it depends on if you want to do that or not. It literally changes nothing about what we just did here, except these would be free nodes down here and these two would be in more. It changes nothing about this. So I could do it. This sounds like what's her name? Demi Lovato. I'm not sorry by Demi Lovato. That's what it sounds like. Anyways, I need to focus. So you can do that. It's not hard. It doesn't change it. It's just something that I don't usually do. And another note, again with the detail. Yeah, I know. You want to do hyper detail. So this connection here, this one here, is actually like this, and it would be a beam node. Again, so why don't I just do it? Why don't I just do it, right? Why don't I just shut up and just do it, right? Well, because again, I gotta remember how I wanted to do it. All right, so let me try to figure this out. Because actually, I'm kind of curious as well. So these nodes need to be here. And you can see how when I pull it down, the whole thing changes height, right? And they all kind of scrunch together. So that's why I keep it within the lines, and then I'll just draw it up to where I need it to go, and it'll adjust itself. So they go there like that. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Because now this beam is supposed to be down there. Alright, I know how I want to do it. Okay. So this is a beam node. That's supposed to be like that. So you have to adjust these like individually. You can't just be like, you can't select the whole thing and the beam nodes readjust themselves. They will not do that. You have to go like this and readjust them individually. So had I thought about it before, you plan ahead. I didn't really plan to do that. But sure, why not? Sure, why not? So I need to go up to this one, which I'm gonna assume is about that far in, but probably not. No, yeah, that looks good. So remember to change this back to 42 because we're not working with the cross beams anymore. It's not quite even, but that's okay. So this is going to be up there like that. And then we're going to do another beam node up here because this is our top line now. And beam. Yeah, I was supposed to double check these. Okay. 24. And you just copy this. Again, you can do the detail on the connections. I'm not gonna go that far, but I'll do this because I've never done it before, and I'm actually kind of curious to see how it looks. And then so this top part here, I'll do this connection up here. You see how it's a big pipe that comes sticking out like that? It's crazy looking, right? It's like this just big awkward looking thing. I just really wish they had a bigger photo. Why can't people take bigger photos? Look how small it is. It's so bizarre. Anyways. So see how it's connected up there? So I will show you how to do that right now. Alright, so it should be roughly the same height. It's usually a little taller. But it goes to the top of your coaster. So basically that means just grabbing this and moving it to this point again where these connect is right where the top hat starts curling in. So you just drag it up until the point where it starts curling in, which is about there, I would say. And then I'm going to adjust these to go up a little bit more because that's what I want. And then the coaster is right there, and this is a little bit below that, so you can see how that is. So right about here. Hold on, let me see where that is on my grid. So 2 down. So 2 down. And I believe each one of these is 2 feet. So this is 500 and this is 595. So 5 feet, every 5 feet. That's what I've got it set to. But if you notice, this is not one connection. This is actually a big beam like this. And it stretches out like that. Good gosh, how long is this ad? Get off of there. I want to listen to music, not you blabbering on about some show I'm never going to watch. So, see how that is? I don't know, you can't really see it from there. So, it's got that look to it. It's got that big beam that goes across. Let me find the original picture. So, you want to make it wide enough to where when you add beam nodes here and center, you connect it like this, like that. And this beam, which is again why I was questioning the size of the beams, because there's a beam that's in the center here, and it's the same size. You see these cross beams? They're not the same size. What am I talking about? I literally wasn't even paying attention to this picture. Oh, I'm so smart. So these beams are all the same size. Wow, those other pictures didn't really do a good job, did they? This is why you gotta look at a bunch of different pictures. Seriously. It makes a huge difference. You start realizing that what you thought was one thing was actually not. So, you just go back in, and I'm going to change these back down to 24. Like, because from this angle, you can see just how small these middle beams are, but from here, they all look the same size. Isn't that crazy? That's just weird. So, anyways, that's not a big deal. You just go back through, change the, I think, what, 6 beams? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, 6 beams. It's not a whole lot. Imagine having to go through and change like 100 of them because you, I don't know, you had a project where there's, oh, here's another one. So that's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. I know what I'm doing. I know what's going on. And so then you make sure these are 42s. And the center beam is another 24. And there you go. So there's this, and you can freeze it at any time to double check you got your right sizes and everything. So yeah, it doesn't look quite right because we don't have the rest of it made yet. It'll look fine. It'll look fine. Except I think those pipes are bigger now. So maybe I was right. Maybe I was using the wrong pipes, or the right pipes the whole time. Like maybe these are 48s. Let me double check. Yeah, I think 48 is what they were. Interesting. Anyways, go back. Oops. So these actually might be 30s. Again, it's super hard to tell. They look tiny on there, so I'm assuming they're 24s. And I'm gonna draw this out because they didn't connect where I wanted them to connect. They didn't have enough on either side. There you go. That looks right. It looks good. It looks good. Alright, and now we have the whole front side almost done. We gotta do the flanges on the big pipes now. Big pipe flanges. So just look at the pipes, look at where the flanges are. Top, middle, bottom. Top, middle, bottom. Where's the flanges? So top, middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom. And then I saw that there was 2 underneath like that. And you just got to do that the whole way down. Figure out where they are. And so these have connections in between. Okay. So technically it's supposed to be connected there, so I think these might be higher if the flanges interconnect to each other. And I need flanges here. You can see the construction behind this is just crazy. Alright, so then I got a connection down here. So I'm just gonna do above, middle, below. So it's about above and about middle and about below. Like that. And we scroll down. And then we're gonna go Well, this doesn't show us the whole thing. That's interesting. So there's a flange there. I think there's another flange there. Yeah, there is. That's interesting. I wonder why they did that. I think it's just because of connections for the tracks. So that's interesting to know. The connections for the tracks are on their own panel, which is something to note when you're making it. So we'll adjust those when we do the full track. So for now, I'm just gonna do these, the belows. We'll adjust them when we do track connections. Alright. So you can see there's a lot going on. And there's all the connections and everything. It looks really nice. You can see how these are kind of overlapping, so I needed to make these higher and whatever. We're not concerned with that right now. We are not concerned with that right now. Alright. And then we gotta do the back side. So switch to this. Well, it's not in the right spot because it's in line with this thing. Alright, that looks close enough. Whoops. Right, thank you. Alright. So, this part is fun. This part's really fun. I enjoyed this part. Not really. The reason being is because you can see how it's a point and then it comes down to a point way down here and then it goes straight down. So I was listening to music for a second because it sounded like something else. So it's relatively easy. So what you want to do is you want to find the middle point, which is this guy right here. Well, you can see how the first point comes down to this guy down here, right? So it would be these guys in the middle. So here's the middle. So you want to click the middle because the next point you're going to click is going to be in the middle. So free node, and then you got to find your free nodes, which are right here, and then boom. So this free node, go to top view, should be in the center, which it is, at the height of your other free nodes here. Which if we go into perspective, hey, look at that. It is. Cool beans, right? And so this is another, and this, for this part, I like, you gotta go in perspective, because you gotta connect this middle beam node to the free node and make sure this is a 48 pipe, which it is. I'm just making sure everything's doing what it's supposed to. Alright. And then it comes off, and this part, it's so hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. I really like this picture though. This picture is clear and nice.
Live performances,
covers. So I'm assuming it comes out roughly that far. Not perspective. And then this one is, so here's our top 1, 2, 3 down. Top 1, 2, 3 down. So this guy right here. Wee. Bing bong. So do that. Make sure you selected your center node that's there. It's really hard to tell where that is on here, isn't it? It's really, really bizarre. Not free node thing. So just double check that this is in the middle, which it is. And I bet you it is not in the right spot. So the way that I like to double check is I like to select the middle spot. So it's these nodes here, and actually I got it pretty much right on the node. Look at that. Oh, I'm actually kind of proud of myself for that. And then just connect it like that, making sure this is 48, which it is. And then below that beam, you get to put the last footer. There's only 3 footers on these, which is interesting. It's just a big old triangle. Things are super sturdy. There you go. And double check that this is straight up and down. Sometimes they have a little bit, they go out a little bit still, but it's kind of up to you how you want to do it. And of course the distance and everything you can adjust to whatever you feel necessary. Now here is the fun part. Because we adjusted this up kind of before we were finished, it's going to make things a little harder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this and move it back down to here. Or at which point? Right there. The point at which we did these on the line, because, well, it's also not straight up and down now. Whoops. It wasn't centered, and I didn't want to mess with it. There we go. Close enough. The reason why we want to do that is because now 1, 2, 3, which is this beam. It makes sure that this is actually in the right spot, which, you know, is probably a good idea. All right, and it allows us to do what we need to do for these guys, these triangle beams that go here, here to here to here, and these where the cross beams are, they're at the same spot on the back beam, no matter what angle this back beam is, and so that's why I adjusted it. Except this is going to be a little higher if we want to do that super detail that I wasn't going to do, but I'm doing anyways. And you go like that, and then remember these beams, gotta go in perspective, and you connect corner to corner. And I'm gonna make sure that I didn't do the flange, because sometimes it connects the flange because for whatever reason it thinks that the flange is a connection point, and that's because you can do flanges at connections and stuff like that, which is like, okay. Don't really care for that. So you just gotta adjust it till it lines up, and then boom, easy peasy, nothing to it. And you just gotta do that the whole way down now. Do these connections, make sure they're 24. Good stuff. So I'm gonna just keep going down, connecting these together. Last one. Alright, cool beams. Look at that. So now we've got our triangles. And at this point I like to do the flanges, which are the same as these beams, top, center, middle. I'm just looking at that, that's a connection to the track, okay. So this part, this is like the most tedious part, is putting in the flanges. Just because it's kind of hard to see. And I kind of never really liked that about this program. It's how hard it is to see the lines and try to do anything. But everything else about it is so good that I just ignore it. I'm just like, whatever. I don't really know what else you can do, so I'm not gonna complain because I'm not smart enough to complain about it. But top, center, middle, which actually is not top, center, middle. I think it's beginning, center, end when it's sideways. This music is great for just sitting here and grinding out detail. It really is. Boom! There you go. So the triangles are done. And now we're going to do the cross supports, which are these guys here that run in the back of the from this point to these points that we just made. And again, like I mentioned before, they do not connect at the point, they connect above the point. So if you want to do that, you just create a beam node above the triangle beam nodes. I'm not going to do that because I'm a bum, and I don't do that. So you just go like that. Boom. It's really just kind of connecting all the beam nodes together, and it has a certain pattern. There's certain things you have to do. See how it connected to the flange? I don't know why I did that. It's super annoying. Like, why would I want that? If I wanted a connection at the flange, I would have said connect at flange. It's kind of an awkward view. I don't want that. I want that. Thank you. It really wants to use the flanges. again, this would not be at the footer. And guess what? Flanges are in the same spots. Top, center, and all the way up. I told you, this is the tedious part, to me at least, is putting in the flanges. Just because there's so many of them, and it really makes sense. You know, they have to fit on trucks and stuff. They have to be able to be assembled easily and actually go together in a proper manner without getting stuck. It's just when you're making wow. When you're making a big structure, there's just a lot to keep track of. There's a lot of connections you gotta think about. So whenever you're building in a coaster and you're making custom supports, make sure that the flanges are in positions that allow the support to actually be built. Because it makes it more realistic. And there you go. Not you. Well, actually, no, we're not done because I almost forgot. Flanges on the big guy. Which I'm just gonna do. You can see the flanges in the picture where they really are and how they interconnect here. You can see it's just all the big connections. So big connection. Big connection. I call them big connections when there's more than 3 pipes being connected together. Which this has like 4. Is that, yeah, 4. And now we're done. Now you're done with the big support. That's literally it. So that's how you make the big guy. One thing that I think I forgot was, yep, that guy. I forgot the flanges on the middle guy here, which is just 1, 2, 3, and a flange here, which is 1, 2, and there we go. And there is your top hat support for Giga Strata coasters, not Giga Strata coasters. You can see how that comes in pretty far, which is not what it does here. So you just go out and you just go here, and if I can zoom in correctly, not like a doofus, comes out maybe like that. I think this is in a little bit more. So I think it looks like that. And then again, we're just gonna go front. You're gonna zoom up, and we're gonna go like this, which grabs all these, drag it up to the correct location, which was two below, which was right there. There you go. So that's the big support. There you go. Top hat support. So I'm going to, no, I'm actually going to shift it over. See, yeah, you got to watch out for that. You got to make sure that you're grabbing the right thing here. And it sits in line with the coaster like that, which if you check your right view, now it's right height, right distance away from this side, which I think it is, and make sure it's lined up in the center of the track here, which it is. So I believe it's far enough away from the actual coaster. Yes. Okay. It runs generally close. It runs generally close. Alright. So then what I do is I freeze it because it's its own entity now. There you go. I know what happened. I'm looking at it like, what happened? Why are these all? Where's the flat ones? And it's because dingus, I forgot to adjust that. So where are you? He's right here. Alright. So top 1, 2, 3. It's supposed to be up there. Like that. And then now you just gotta adjust. Make sure these are in line. Don't be a doofus like me. And that way when you go to right view, they're all flat. So now it actually go in perspective and go to freeze. There he goes. That looks better. Look at that. That looks fantastic. So again, these pipes look kind of small. Then again, they look really small in the photo. So they're probably 30s, but again, you adjust it however you want. So make this a 30 just because it looks better. All right. So connections are pretty easy, actually. What you gotta do is you gotta go to your coaster, because you want rail connectors. It just makes things so much easier. So yeah, so this one is actually really simple, so I'm gonna start with it. So you have your connector there. Not front, back view. So actually see in front of the pipeys. And so you want it centered on the big pipe here. Add a beam from here to here, which this should be straight, which mine is not. I'm sorry. I believe, yeah. So it's the original pipe size, which I believe is 20-inch. Let me just double check that. Like the connection from the coaster to the pipe is, I believe, 20-inch, because that's like the full size of the track. And I would be correct. Okay. Good. And then, so you can see how this isn't straight up and down. It's okay. Now, here's the fun part, is that I literally did this wrong already. Good grief. Alright. So this comes out, so it has an overlap. So actually, a way that you could do this, a way that I like to do it, is I like to just use beam nodes, because I don't want to have to deal with this any other way. But a way that you can do it is you can, when you make your beam, is adjust the start at the front and the end. I don't like doing that because it adjusts it for all the pipes. I like to just have it end to end, and I like to be able to adjust it minimally to myself. And it's not a, is it a 30? No, it's a big honking pipe. It's a 42. So you go like that, and you just go like this. So you bring it in there, because it doesn't make the connection exactly right, but we don't need it to. It just needs to go into the pipe. That's all we need. So 6 or 20, like that, and you can check it. And boom, look at that. It's a connection. It doesn't look the same as that. That's because there's a big pipe back there. So if we looked at a different picture, what's a good picture? What's a good looking picture? There's one that I'm thinking of. This one doesn't show it exactly though. This one, see how small it is compared to that? But it's the same size. and then there's just huge pipes here. Yeah, it's crazy looking, isn't it? So that's that. And yeah, so there's flanges. You can see where the flanges are. There's a flange there, there's a flange there. So actually, I think this pipe might be bigger. It might be a 24. Which actually, I made a note of that these are the same size as the other guys. So yeah, that looks a little better. And the color is off because the color is off. Whatever. Again, this is all adjustable by you. You don't, you know, whatever. So that's the top one. These here, super simple, super simple. Okay, like almost ridiculously simple. So you can see they're at the same height as this. Your top beam here. So just come in. I keep pressing front because I'm dumb or something. So like that, and then you add your free node out here a ways, connect it there, thank you. 24, just double checking that's 24. Come to the top view. Oops. See how far the pipe comes out? So here's the thing. So this connects to that, and you see how it's an angle? No Limit should recognize that. Should being the key word. So when you angle it like this, and you bring it back in here, back view, and then for whatever reason decided to do it all the way at the bottom because who knows why. It just bugs me when it does stuff like that. It's like I don't know why it's all the way down there. Who knows why it's all the way down there? So it goes like this. And then you just draw it back until it's in the pipe all the way, center of the pipe, which is right there. And it should recognize what you're doing, and it should make it flat. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does really weird things. But nope, it recognized it. There you go. So that's that. That's literally all it is. That is literally all it is. This connection, that's literally all it is. So technically this comes out a ways and it's kind of flatter, but it's close enough. So if you wanted to, you could draw this out and then create a beam node here, and then draw the beam out like that, and then you can have a connection that's like that. And it's relatively the same thing. To me, it looks better to have it sticking out a little bit, like we did up here. So that to me looks better, even though it's flush against this edge here. That to me just looks better. And then of course it's all in one piece because this whole piece is one piece. There's no flange right here. It's just one big piece. So that's that one. And that goes for all of these. It's the same way. You look at this picture and you figure out, you know, where you should be putting these. I'll do these down here. They're relatively easy. They should be in line with right below this one, which is 4. So 1, 2, top. Which one's top? 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here. So these come out like this, and these are a little bit fancier, just a little bit. Where's the one picture that I really like? It's this one. So you can see how this connection is made, how these pipes are straight. So that makes it really hard to do things, because when you go into right view and you look at it and you're like, okay, so it needs to be straight, right? Well, you can't just make a straight pipe and then change the length of it. It needs to be straight. It needs to have 2 points like this and 2 pipes like that. so it just makes it harder to make exactly straight. You know what I mean? But the point being, it's not too terribly hard once you figure it out. It comes out about there. It comes out straight there. It comes out like that. It's, of course, in this picture it's a little steeper just because of the way they have it set up. And you can tell on how on this one here, since it's just a single, you would just boop like that. And then for the rest of these, you can tell that there's a connection here. It's the same setup as this, same setup as that. Really nothing to it. So these pipes these are the 24s and these are 20s. And then you put a flange there, and depending on how it's set up here, you can see for this big one, if we're doing this big one, it's a flange there, flange there, flange there, flange there. If it's the smaller one, it's only these three, like that. So, and I'll freeze it for you. Ouch. There you go. So again in real life, when they set these up, it's like way down here. So these are way down here like this. It's actually angled correctly. So let me show you a little bit better of an angle. Like that. It's a little bit better of an angle. It's a little bit bigger. Still, it's gonna, yeah. See, it's gonna still kind of hurt itself. But you can see that's the general idea. It's the general gist. And so you can adjust that however you want the whole way down. These guys are just single pipes, 24s from here to here. I can do that. That's it takes 2 seconds. You guys should be able to know how to do that. not saying anything mean. I'm just saying it's literally just like that. That's all it is. And this is a 24. You draw it out to about here. Make sure it's about here so it's straight. You know, adjusting to the height. So technically it should be here. And these, because this curve is so much larger because it's 500 feet and everything. Like, look at the G-force. G-force is still red because it just, actually, I could have made it steeper. I wonder why I didn't make it steeper. Again, it just based on your coaster, based off what you're doing. In these big pipes, I don't believe there's a good, like a really good photo what they look like. Yeah, right here. So you can see there's multiple flanges. So depending on how long it is, I usually do just 3, and I keep it like that. Now the last one are these guys. Not these guys. These guys. These big guys here. So this picture is really helpful for that. You can see how it's kind of set up here. So I'm going to go in and show you. So see how long that pipe is. It's weird that that's what it does. And if you watch the coaster in real life, this thing is shaking all over the place, and it's really scary. I don't understand. So this is, I want to say it's about 90. So it just depends on where you want your connection. So it's about here for me, where it's not quite 180 in this direction, not quite. It's at like maybe 160. And so you can tell by this picture. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see it better. You see how it comes out. Same thing as these guys here. These connections here on these guys. Comes in. And these pipes are 20s, and this pipe is, or these pipes are 24s, and this pipe is 30. These pipes should be 30. So I don't know if did I do that on these? I didn't, I don't think. 24, what is this? Yeah, 24. So these should be 30. My bad. That's my bad. The reason why these are not 30 is because you've got these double connections here. So that's why they have double support. Since this is being supported by just one tube, they make it thicker. So engineering.
It's all here. Get the app.
So I'm gonna go over here now, and this part isn't very hard either. So it's just a free node out here. If you look, it's a free node coming back, like here-ish, and then it's a free node there, and then I'm gonna go to this view, and I'm gonna go down. And so in perspective, you can see what you're doing. So this node comes out, and again, I like to have the connection like that one up there where it comes out a little bit. I won't do that on this one, but to me it just looks better. This is a 24. This over here is a 24, and this down here is a 24. And oops. And again, it comes out a little bit, so technically I can do this, and I can go like that. This is a 30, like that, and then it's a beam node probably about there. I'm not sure. Again, this is all adjustable to however your coaster looks and whatever you like. This is just how they do it in the industry. I bet you they change it up. But there you go. So there's all the piping. There's all the lines and everything. So of course this got to go in here like that. This got to go in here right underneath it like that. And this comes out to about there. So when you're done, it should look like this. And of course you can bring this. Where's the node? Where's the node? Where's the node? It's in the pipe. I don't know where it is. I don't know where my node is. There it is. I'm gonna draw it out a little bit. It comes down to about there. And then the flanges, which you can see here, are just these two here and these two here. So it's boink, 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 boink. So that's that. So freeze it up. There you go. And that's how you make the outer connection. Of course, this isn't lined up or anything. And again, like I said, when you make these supports, you notice how these flanges are actually adjusted on the outside. I can't bring that one up because, yeah. But you bring them on the outside like this, they're connected on the outside of the supports. You can kind of see that here. See how it's connected on the outside of the supports, And so I can't bring that one up, but I would put it up there if I could. And there you go. It should just be like that. And then there you go. So you can just do that. Those are the three main supports. And again, just look at a bunch of pictures. Whoops, it's my Steam account, if you wanted to know. And so you just follow these blueprints from these pictures, and you put them where you need them. Again, most of these are just single pipes, these being 24s, these being 24s because they're the same width as this. These are 20s, and then these are 30s. And these are 48s. I'm guessing they don't really look like 48s, but they look better on No Limits if they're 48s to me. And there you go. So that's how I did it, and that's how you do it the whole way up. You just keep copying and pasting. Again, my curves are too big. I could have made that a lot smaller, really. But there you go. That's how you make a top hat support structure. And again, if you want super detail, these connections here, these two guys here, connect up here. They don't connect to these guys. Same with down here. These would connect up here. And so you just pay attention to these and how this works and how it looks. You don't have to make it exactly like this. Just realize how they do like the connections and what connects to what and how the engineering goes. So like again, like on these big pipes here that I have, on this picture I think they only do 2 flanges if that, but I do 3 because it's so long, at which point I might not even use that. The single pipe I might just connect here to here, and then there would be a flange here and a flange here, and it would connect probably separate from all of these. So just kind of try to figure out how the engineering works, and then that's pretty much it. But that's the basis. That's the basics. Again, the easiest way that I found out how to do it was make them in line with these, and make as many as you need. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? For this one, Totho Dragster I think uses 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so mine are extended. They're a bit taller than Totho Dragster, so they would probably add an 1/8 flat triangle, just because it's a whole 100 feet taller. This is 500 feet up here, 493, but we count it as 500. Your head is at 500. So yeah, and then you just draw that, and then you select it all and bring it up, and it self adjusts, except for this point back here, which you just draw up to make sure that this is flat and all these are flat. Line everything up, double check everything, color code it however you want. Now there's a lot of pipes, so you might want to color code the pipes while you're putting them in, instead of having to click on each one and changing the color individually, which I've had to do multiple times on multiple coasters because I decided to do the structure first and then I would go back and adjust the colors later, which is really tedious, and I wish that there was a better way to do that. So if there is a better way to do that, let me know. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that answered your questions. Yeah. Any other tutorials you want me to make? I don't really know much else. I think everything else is kind of self-explanatory, even in this video. Just look at pictures of coasters that you need to use, like I did Helix at Lysenberg. How do you spell that? Lysenberg, isn't that? Yeah, Lysenberg. Good grief, I can't. So I looked at a lot of these pictures when I was doing my mat coasters and how they did these kind of structures and where they put the flanges and stuff. And it's a really easy way to figure out how manufacturers, the real manufacturers, do real supports, and that's how I do my supports. And I think that's how a lot of people do their supports. They base it off of these, and then there are custom supports that you can do that they do for certain elements. So as long as you know the basic engineering behind how these work, like where cross beams and flanges go, you're pretty much set to do whatever you want. So yeah, again, I hope that worked well for you. I hope you enjoyed the music, and I'll be posting a video. I'll try to keep posting videos on a regular basis. I know that I just can't seem to do that right now, and it's probably not good. But I've just been super busy and super flustered, so I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's only a couple more videos. I think it's only 6 more videos that I'm gonna post until my next project, which I don't know what it's gonna be. I do not have a Halloween video coming out. I was gonna make a Halloween coaster, but I can't think of anything right now. Again, I'm just kind of really busy and everything that I haven't really had time to think of coaster designs, and it's kind of a bummer, but you know, life happens. Anyways, again, I hope this was helpful. Any more questions or anything, just put it down in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. and I will see you later, and whatever this commercial is. Anyways, take care, guys.